This was a fun moment. Kaitlan Collins is an anchor at CNN, was on Stephen Colbert's show for some reason. I have no idea why a CNN anchor was a guest on The Late Show, but she was. It's hard to imagine a more boring, less entertaining guest, but there she was. And actually, something entertaining did happen, much to the chagrin of both Colbert and Collins. Let's watch.
Trump has kind of been thrown on his heels by this, and he's not really sure how to go after Vice President Harris. He knew his attack lines on President Biden. He really has struggled with how to go after someone who's 20 years younger than him, who is a different gender, a different race. It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. Oh, I know. CNN makes a... I know
Was that supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
That is truly humiliating. Colbert calls CNN objective and the audience laughs. And here's the thing. The audience isn't even laughing maliciously or sarcastically. They honestly thought that it was a joke. They assumed quite fairly that someone would only say that if they meant to be funny. And that was probably the first laugh they got the whole show. It's like Stephen Colbert does not say funny things very often. And I think that they were relieved. They said, finally, a moment of levity in this comedy show. And they laughed. And because in their minds, hearing someone say CNN is objective, it's like hearing someone say the DMV is a lot of fun. It just, people interpret that as inherently absurd. You must be joking if you're saying that. Because it is inherently absurd. But the more interesting thing to me is that Colbert didn't realize that the audience would find the comment funny. Right? In his world, CNN actually is an objective news source. So think about that for a moment. Really reflect on that. Imagine how delusional, how ensconced in your own bubble you have to be to see CNN as anything but a propaganda outlet. Even if Colbert himself likes CNN, how does he not realize how everyone else sees it? That's the remarkable thing. I mean, we use the phrase out of touch a lot, but here it really applies. These people are out of touch. Just it cannot be overstated the degree to which they are out of touch. And everybody's in their own bubbles to a certain extent, you could say. I'm surrounded by lots of conservative people all the time, so I have my own bubble in that sense, just like we all do. But I'm exposed enough to other perspectives that I know how the left thinks. I know how they perceive things. I know, for instance, that if I was in front of a crowd that included liberals, it would be a laugh line for me to say that Fox News is the most objective cable news channel. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. It would not surprise me for people to laugh at that. I understand that that's how Fox News is perceived, especially in the liberal world. Now, I happen to believe that Fox News actually is the most objective and the fairest of all the cable news channels, TV news in general. Low bar. It's a low bar to get over, but still. Yet I know that to about half the country, such a claim is seen as downright hysterical. I'm aware of that. And it's amazing that someone like Stephen Colbert doesn't have that level of understanding. Or any understanding at all, which also explains why his show just isn't funny, why he's not an effective comedian at all. And it's the contempt he has for people that he disagrees with politically, but even more than the contempt, it's just he doesn't understand most of the country. And so you can't, it's hard to make comedy that appeals to most of the country and is funny to most of the country if you don't understand the people that you're talking to. You don't understand your own audience. Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to listen to my full podcast on the go, you can check out The Matt Walsh Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.